of the sweet science. Tonight, he's making his return to the triangle with a professional record of 1 victory and 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn legend, Paulie Magic Man, malignaggi. He's over on the red corner wearing black and white. He weighs in at 153.3 pounds. He is a UFC veteran and the first Filipino bare knuckle world champion, fighting out of Davao City, Philippines, Rolando Dy, incredible Dy.
You hear the band. There's only one Ricky Hatton. The spirit of Hatton is in Paulie Malignaggi, but Rolando Dy says, I have the spirit of my father, Rolando Navarrete, who was a champion. The spirit of Manny Pacquiao, who gave me an award this past weeks in the Philippines. And he's coming out with fire in his fists.
All over Paulie, trying to use that size advantage.
Paulie trying to neutralize him here.
Got to neutralize him with footwork.
Oh,
physically, he's going to have trouble. Good left hook from Rolando Dy.
You could just see the strength, the physical brutality that Dy depends on to be a champion in this bare knuckle boxing. Paulie has survived the first attack, the first salvos from Rolando Dy, but that's a straight right from Dy, who kept it compact.
And look at the size comparison between these guys. It's unbelievable. You know, Paulie weighted well below the weight limit, about 5 pounds under. Rolando Dy had to cut a ton of weight just to make this.
And I think he's coming out strong because Rolando Dy had a lot of trouble. It was a difficult weight cut for him, so he may be doubting how his conditioning will hold up over the rounds.
Yeah, but Paulie has to, establish himself in this first round, either with his offense, with the jab, or with his footwork, and make Dy miss and make him pay.
Dy has been so effective in getting inside so far, and this is not the fight that Paulie envisioned if he was to come away with the victory.
And good underhooks from Rolando Dy. Once again, this is of a grappler in mixed martial arts. They know this very, very well. Paulie does not.
And Rolando Dy made no qualms about it. He says, there's things about boxing that I'll never know that Paulie knows, and there's things about being an MMA fighter, the grappling, that he just cannot learn in a span of a year.
And throw a nice jab right through the center and then change his level, which I think is a good idea. But if I'm in Paulie Malignaggi's corner, I go, hey, get through the first 2 rounds. All you need to do is not get knocked out, not get finished, not get cut in the first 2 rounds. Then the cut is going to start catching up with him. That's when your speed and your accuracy is going to be much more of a factor in the later rounds. We see how Rolando Dy does. He just waits. And then he throws big throws big punches on the counter.
That was a nice right out of the Philly shell from Rolando Dy, but he's just trying to tire Malignaggi out here by mauling him in the early going.
Using his head as a weapon, keeping it right in the center. Not allowed to headbutt, but you're allowed to grind that head right against your opponent.
Going to the chest and the chin of Malignaggi. Nice right hand there from Rolando Dy. Malignaggi holding up well in terms of his skin so far. Don't want to jinx it, but with as intense as Dy has been in the early going, it's a decent start for Malignaggi in terms of not busting up. Second round of our main event, Bernardo Osuna alongside Jimmy Smith, and Paulie Malignaggi gets clipped on the right and down in the early going.
Good right hand, caught Paulie mid-combination. The count is at 8. I don't know if he makes it, he does.
And look, Dy is ready to finish the fight with one more punch here in the second round. He's lining up Paulie. Paulie has great survival instincts, and he goes down again as he gets pushed down.
That was a push. Paulie's got to move and get out of there. He's got to get out of the corner. Got to use his footwork. He does have the speed, does have the combinations, but not at this distance.
Oh, another right, and down is Paulie again. And now he's bleeding. He's in no condition to continue. This corner of Dy is saying, don't get up. Dy has always been a fan of Malignaggi's, and he says, I didn't want to hurt him, but here it is. Knockout in the